Tell you what climate change is responsible for, the new scapegoat. Climate change is responsible for hate speech. It is climate change is responsible and has an effect on the babies in the womb. Climate change is to blame for rising childhood obesity, for strengthening ISIS, the Taliban. It will cause murders, rapes, and assaults to rise. Screenwriter says climate change could cause real-life Sharknado, and it goes on and on. I mean,
it feels like late summer is always the time when discussions about climate change reach their fever pitch. It makes sense because it's when we go from increasingly scorching hot summers to hurricane season in the east and fire season in the west, or if you live in California, apparently we get both, plus earthquakes at the same time now. So it's no wonder that there are an uptick in stories covering the climate. And like clockwork, Fox News is there to make a mockery of it all. From the devastating wildfires in Hawaii that were much worse than anticipated, to this most recent hurricane in Southern California that was not as bad as anticipated. Either way, the right is intent on taking any opportunity they can to minimize our climate conversation. And look, the things Judge Jeanine lists are comical at best and hysterical at worst. But in the days of social media where everyone is an amateur writer and journalist, of course you can cherry pick outlandish claims, tell your audience that this is the left's official position, and try and discredit the entire movement. As this tweet shows, though, the right does things like this all the time with issues like crime, gender ideology, and the so-called Biden corruption family. And this isn't just an annoyingly partisan media strategy to keep us all divided and hating our fellow Americans. It can and is leading to an explosion of conspiracy theories about our devastating weather patterns.
Now listen, Eagle County, I will go on the record with you all tonight and say that I absolutely believe in climate change. It happens 4 times every year.
People like Congresswoman Lauren Boebert casually laughing off climate change may seem trivial and ultimately insignificant. But in the wake of the Hawaii fires in particular, there's been a rapid escalation in the peddling of theories regarding these destructive weather patterns, like that the government is setting the fires intentionally to ultimately buy the burned land and turn it into a state-run surveillance state geographic entity, or that the media is hyper-focused on climate change to distract us from a litany of other issues we really should care more about. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, they are being flooded with ideas like this. Seriously, just look at the trending topics right now, with videos that might be doctored, showing people setting the fires themselves. And I'm not saying that these are like just totally, completely stupid and outlandish theories. Like all conspiracy theories, they do have a grounding in some sort of truth, but that then becomes ridiculous and out of control. The fact that climate change has become a completely partisan issue, like so much else in our world, is a true shame when it could be something that we all, as Americans interested in a greener, more beautiful, and safe future, could come together on. But it's these media and political figures sowing discord and putting crazy ideas in their supporters' heads that are going to make this fight so much harder than it needs to be. Occam's razor is the theory that the simplest answer is more often than not the correct one. And in the case of our climate catastrophes, it's probably not the government setting fires to buy up land for the surveillance state. It really just is our insatiable appetite for fossil fuels and our perpetual need to deplete natural resources that's at the bottom of it all. For more of my coverage on The Breakdown, stay right here and check out my latest video on Marjorie Taylor Greene finally getting screwed over by her MAGA past by clicking on the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.